Because while we export all those energy resources, governments have decided we shouldn't use them ourselves. So they've implemented those emissions reductions policies at state and federal levels for 2 decades, as you know, deliberately favouring renewables to force out coal and gas. It's worked. Thousands upon thousands of megawatts of coal and gas generation has shut down, but we now don't have enough. And that scarcity fuels the cost spiral. It's so bad that in this energy-rich nation, we're worried about keeping the lights on.
Now, we've got this meeting today, which is the Energy Ministers. We've got important work to do, particularly around a mechanism to keep the lights on, like we just heard, a capacity mechanism as we go through this transition.
Yeah, that's why we call him Blackout Bowen. What he trumpets as his renewables revolution will only worsen our energy crisis and lead to blackouts. In fact, late today, he's announced another $10 billion fund to try to attract investment in energy that's actually there when you need it. Bowen says all we have to do is have governments and private investors pump tens of billions of dollars into renewables and transmission, and we'll have cheap, reliable power. It doesn't make sense.
Rewiring the nation, which is our policy, to spend $20 billion to get more transmission, to make sure the system's working, and to get more renewable energy on in a most orderly fashion.
Yeah, that extra $10 billion announced today, and that $20 billion there, and the $100 billion of private transmission investment it hopes to trigger, and the hundreds of billions of dollars to be invested in wind and solar generation, and storage and batteries and pumped hydro, well, all that has to be paid for, and it will be paid for by you. That's why it's as clear as day that while the current energy crisis might have been exacerbated by the Ukraine war pushing up coal and gas prices, the root cause is the renewables push. This is a reality that experts from the Reserve Bank Governor down have confirmed, but about which Bowen is in denial.
This crisis is caused by coal and gas prices. Anybody who says it's caused by renewables is lying. And that needs to be called out. Renewables are the solution to this crisis, not the cause.
That was Bowen spinning away on Tuesday, not yesterday, but just 2 sleeps later, his own explanation confirms that the renewables push has created this mess.
In Australia's case, we've got this added problem that we've had so much electricity leave the system over the last 10 years and only a little bit come on. That means you don't need to be an expert in energy to know that that's a problem. That means we've got less energy reliability and more pressure on prices.
Yeah, that's right. The stuff that he was calling a lie, the forcing out of reliable fossil fuel generation has created this crisis. So he says it's a lie, but he admits it's the reality himself.